'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your.
I'm back. Hello. Did you miss me? Did you? No, not even this much. Well, I missed you guys. As many of you have noticed, that I have been off of social media as of today, 7 days. I'm recording this today and it's Sunday, October 14th, but I will be posting this video tomorrow morning, so you guys will see it tomorrow. That is because I wanted to wait to be off social. I wanted to be off social media for 7 days, simply because I wanted to unplug, detox my mind, my brain, my mental, my physical, my spiritual. I wanted to detox. I wanted to unplug from social media so that I can plug back to my roots, plug back to where I'm supposed to be plugged. First of all, if you watched my last video, you know that I did mention that I will be off social media for 7 days and that I apologized in advance. But if you didn't, then that means you didn't really watch my video, but that's fine. I forgive you. It's a new me, and it's a brand new me, and I will forgive you. Well, it's just me, you know, but I am more refreshed. I feel refreshed. I feel like I have more strength, more power. I feel that my mind is clear and my head is clear. Definitely, I feel like I can focus. I feel like my priorities are back, reset back to where they're supposed to be. So first of all, let me tell you the reason why I did this, why I wanted to unplug, why I wanted to detox, and why 7 days. You don't know what you have until you lose it. You know that old saying where people say you don't know what you have until you lose it, until you don't have it. And for me, I needed to go off social media simply because I felt like I lost my connection with God, simply because I was putting other things first. And although I wasn't unplugged completely, I was just kind of like on and off. I was only going to God when I really needed him, when I was just desperate and down on my feet. I mean, where I couldn't just be on my feet anymore. And that's just wrong, because for me personally, I know for a fact that I have to have God first, or else I cannot stand on my feet. Everything else will just go down the hill. Like, I can only go this much without him, and then slowly I will just start feeling that, you know, like I will start feeling this spiritual drainage. I will feel like in the desert and there's no water. You know, and I'm just like, or you will gradually feel like, you know, you're pushing the wagon up the hill. You're pushing the wagon up the hill and it keeps coming back to you and falling on top of you, and you keep getting up and you're like, oh, I can do it, but not really. You just deceive yourself. So when I decided, and it was so abruptly, but it was also a big need, a spiritual need. Like, I needed this. I needed to be unplugged. I needed to go off grid. I needed to just go off social media. And the first day, it was really hard. Oh my God, it was so hard. But by the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, this is like a drug. This is like when people do drugs, or people who smoke, or I don't know what other dependencies are, but social media is just like a drug. If you're constantly on Instagram, on Facebook, you know, scrolling, watching what other people are saying, doing, if you're constantly on YouTube, which was for me, I wasn't watching TV, but it was worse than watching TV, you know. I was on YouTube all the time, watching what everybody was posting, you know, like trying to support and this and that, and that's nothing wrong, but you get carried away and you just like, you don't let go of this device, you know. And it's so wrong, because it overpowers you, it overtakes you, your mental, it's just like, it's basically like a cigarette, but it's just this. You're not, you're just like smoking, but it's a device, you know. And for me, it was so bad. I wasn't getting my things done. You know, my priorities were a mess. And for me to do 7-day detox was not only to see what I am, how dependent I am on this, and what it was doing to me, but also I needed a fast breakthrough, but also I needed to set my priorities straight. So the first day, what helped me is I said, okay, I'm gonna get these books out and I need to start reading them. Every time I wanted to pick up the phone, which other days it was all the time, okay, everything I was doing, every house chore I was doing, I had somebody's video on, and whether I was listening or watching it, or even if I was eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, nap time, whatever, doing computer work, I felt like I had to have the phone on, you know. And it was so time consuming. You think you're like, oh, I'm just gonna look 5 minutes. By the time you're going through all of your feeds, it's an hour, 2 hours. What can you do with that hour, 2 hour that you're actually spending on internet? A lot. I'm telling you, a lot. I will tell you what I did. That yes, I did 7 folders. I typed so much on the computer. I put all the folders together. All the paperwork that needs to be done for my daycare, I did it all. And I thought I was gonna do it one a day, and I actually did it all in one day, which I was so surprised. I was like telling my husband at the end of the day, oh my god, I had no idea how addicted I was to this thing, to this little device, you know. I got so much done, not just like my paperwork, but also the housework, the chores, everything that needed to be done. I wasn't just like saying, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, you know. Right now I need my me time, and I need my, like, you know, I need to watch something, this and that. And that's kind of like very deceiving, because you're like, oh, you know, yes, I have a 1 hour. No, you don't, because whatever you're watching, you know, all that stuff, they don't really take that much time to watch or find out about your life and what you're doing. No, you're just wasting your time, you're wasting your life, you know. So what I did, every time I was craving to pick up the phone, I pick up the book. And I'm not kidding, I read within this week 2.5 books, like this big, okay. That's big. So my third book, today is Sunday, this is the 6th day, tomorrow will be 7. I am almost done with reading 3 books. Every time I wanted to pick up that phone, I picked up the book and I read, whether I was in the bathroom or when I was putting my daughter to nap. I didn't really go, and I did have my notifications on. I did not turn them off, okay. I had them all on. But what I did, I turned the phone like this instead of like this, where, you know, they pop up and you see them. So I put it down, and sometimes the phone was on silent, especially at nighttime. You know, I put it there. I was like, I'm not gonna look, I'm not gonna look, I'm not gonna look. I had to say it out loud so I could hear myself. No, I'm not gonna look. No, I'm not gonna pick it up. I would pick up the book. So wherever my phone was, there was my book too. So everywhere. Everything I was like, nope, I'm gonna substitute it. Nope, nope. And that goes with everything in life, I believe. But since we're talking just with social media, picking up the book instead of the phone, it helped me. And at nighttime, the temptation was greater, you know, because I put my child at 9 o'clock to sleep, you know, she goes to sleep. And before, usually, you know, last week when I wasn't doing this, I was so tempted, I would just pick up the phone and go through watching all these videos, watching everybody's lives, Instagram, Pinterest, whatnot, Facebook. Not even talking to anybody, believe it or not. No interaction with whatsoever with nobody. And that's the saddest part, because social media, I believe in the beginning, was intended for us to like talk to each other, connect, share things, encourage each other. Now it's like it's just breaking us apart, and everybody's like posting too much, way too much, more than it should even be there, you know. Like some things that should be private are public, you know. Who wants to see your private parts? Please keep something out of social media, you know. Nobody needs to see everything. And my husband always said this, and I used to like be mad at him, because I always would tell him, why don't you want, you know, put a picture of us or something. He's like, I don't want nobody to know nothing. Then nobody needs to know everything. So I learned that a lot from him, you know. Try to post less. Alright, so back to me in the evening. Even when I would put my daughter to sleep, I was so tempted to, because I didn't want to sleep, because my brain was so used to like being alert for hours, staying up, and then like staying up hours watching videos and watching YouTube or watching Facebook, you know, scrolling or screening so much. So my brain was so used to being so alert. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, how do I go to sleep now? How do I relax my brain to sleep? And what helps a lot, what I found it helpful, was pick up the book, read one chapter after another, after another, after another. And then by the time it was 10, I was like, whoa. By the time that it was 10 o'clock, at 10:30, I was like, oh, that's it. I can't read anymore. I'm done. And I'm going to bed. And I would put it, because then my brain was starting to like relax, you know. Because think about it. Why do kids like bedtime stories? Why do we like bedtime stories when we are kids? Because that's how you relax the brain, you know. There's something that does to the brain when you read a book, or when you're reading, you know, something that you enjoy. And right away I was just relaxed. I wanted to just fall asleep. Did not want to think too much. None of that stuff that I was screening, you know, before, it wasn't going through, because I wasn't screening now. For 7 days I wasn't screening nothing. So all those pictures, all those things, you know, or somebody's life or whatever, it wasn't in here anymore. It was just like slowly fading. Only the things that were remaining in my head was the chapter that I was reading, the story, whatever I was reading that, you know, relaxed me. Usually I read things that are like beneficial to my spirit, to my to building my relationship with God. Like I read spiritual books. I don't really read any like mystery or any of that stuff, you know. I don't really like stuff like that. I will only read like stuff that are educational, that would, you know, build me, help, things that are beneficial to my mental, to my soul, to my mind, you know, stuff like that. So my brain wasn't really going crazy and just on and on and on and on and on. No, it was relaxed after I read a book, and I wanted to go to bed right away. And the other best part was, from this detox, 7-day detox, was my relationship with God just improved, got better, because I found out that, you know, and not that I didn't know, but it was because I was putting other things before Him, you know, especially in the morning. Like now that I went to bed early, 10 o'clock max, 10:30, my body was actually able to wake up early and go find the corner where I go and pray and read my Bible, read the word, feed my heart, feed my mind, feed my soul, first of all, with God and his word and his presence. Because before, you know, the second I opened my eyes, I was tempted to just, not tempted, but I would go on the phone and scroll through whatever post that was there. Before I did this detox, the first thing, the second I opened my mind, instead of saying thank you God for this day and beautiful day, the first thing I would do is just pick up the phone and go through everything on Instagram, on Facebook. I would just like find out first what's going on in the world, you know, instead of taking that time, waking up early and going and praying and hearing from God and thanking him. Now, I actually did this even before detoxing, but I wasn't consistent. I wasn't doing it every day because I only kind of like, how to say, you know, like the child who's in trouble and he's like, nah, I want to go to my daddy, so because he's gonna rescue me, he's gonna help me, but then as soon as I feel better, bye daddy, I can make it now on my own. So that's how it was, but it was because I allowed it, you know, like I would go a month like really being connected, plugged to God, and then another month, oh, I'm fine now, you know. But I never really took the time to know what, like, this much to be off social media. Before I did it maybe like 1 day, 2 days, but 7 days, no. And only by God's grace and God's help that I did it this long, because I seriously know that, I know now that being dependent on social media and being so much on it, it is the same as doing drugs, but you're not doing it. But for your mental, it's almost the same. Like that addiction, like being addicted to social media is almost the same as doing drugs or smoking weed or smoking cigarette, whatever, you know, whatever addiction you might have. But the good thing is, not that I got so much done and I read so much, and but I just feel so clear. Like I am not as stressed, I'm not as frustrated. I slept so much. I got 8 hours of sleep every single night. Like I woke up in the morning happy and I could think clear. And I had so many temptations come my way to like make me frustrated, you know, but there I was again. Like I said in the beginning, I went back to reading, I went back to praying, I went back to depending on God and just repeatedly saying, I can only do this with God, I can only do it with God, you know, and I can do this, I can do this, I can stay without this, I don't need this, I don't need this to be, I don't need this to function, but I do need God to function. And when you give your first fruit, which is in the morning, if you're not a morning person, you can do it in the evening. But to me, starting the day with God helped me go on my day, go on during the day, go on and do things that I needed to do and get things done that I needed to get done. Easier, better, stronger. And let me tell you something. For those of you who've seen, again, my videos, know that I also mentioned that one day I will get to cleaning my garage, which I haven't touched it since a year since we moved here, and it was a mess. And guess how much it took me to finish that? Okay, not even 2 hours. What I thought it would take me days to finish that garage, it didn't even take me 2 hours. This attitude, oh my god, this giant is huge, I can't tackle this. But I prayed in the morning and I said, God, I need strength to do it. I cannot do this on my own. You need to give me strength. And I went to the library with my daughter. Usually if I take her to the library, I'd be like, I'm tired, I don't want to do anything, I just want to lay down. But I took her to the library, and I told her, go play in the playground. I opened the garage and I just tackled it. I was like, and while I was doing it, I was like, this feels weird. I don't even know where this is coming from, that I'm actually doing this. And I didn't even have any Red Bull, but I did it. You know, I worked 30 minutes before she went to nap time. After she went to nap time, after nap time, after she woke up, I worked another 1 hour and 30 minutes. So a total of 2 hours, and not even 2 hours. And it's done, it's clean, and you guys will see the end result of it. And that is only because in the morning I woke up and I asked God for help. So y'all might laugh at me, but I don't really care, because I've never felt this much better. And I've known God personally, or how to say, I've started to walk with God 19 years ago when I accepted Jesus into my heart. But I never really saw God as my help. As my daily help, to help me with every little tiny thing, tiny task or big task. I just thought that God was just there when I was in trouble, when I would maybe get sick, or you know, something tragic happened. My mind, I was like, that's all God is there for. But it's not true. God is so much more. God is so much more there for us. And if we just take time to consider that and give him that credit, he will prove to you who he is and what he can do in your life and in our lives. For me to disconnect from any social media, it was also a way to connect to God, to my spiritual work in progress. I don't know if that makes sense, but I had to do it in order to see things clear, you know, because you can put it this way: whatever you're feeding your head with, that is ultimately what your life is. You know, whatever your thoughts are, eventually they will come out and become your words, and your words will turn into your behavior, and your behavior will turn into your life eventually. So be very careful what you feed your mind with, what you allow your eyes to see, because that will be and is your life. So if you think that you need to do that, do it. And trust me, nobody's gonna miss you. And the people who will miss you, they will text you if they have your phone number, or if they live close by, they will make an effort to come and see and find and ask you and check on you. But if nobody really does none of that, just know that nobody really misses you. And that's exactly how social media is. So, and it's sad to say it, I don't want to put nobody down, but I was gone 7 days, and let me tell you something, nobody missed me. Today, this morning, I did see one message that popped up on my screen. I didn't go through checking it out, but it did pop up. You know, when you get like comments on your videos, you do get a notification. So I got that notification, and it was from Neralda Navarro. I hope I'm saying it right. And I think she said, I hope all is well, Miss you Chula. I asked my husband today if that was a good name, because I didn't know what that really meant. But that was nice to know. And there you go, 6 days have passed, and that was the only message somebody wrote that I actually saw. Could be more, but that's the only one that I saw. So disconnect from the world to connect with your world, to connect with God, to connect with your spiritual life, to connect with your life, basically, you know, because sometimes we get so caught up on what's going on out there that we forget that there is a world in front of us that we need to be caught up first. So does this mean that I will be off social media for a long time? No, I will go back tomorrow and reading everybody's comments and replying and doing that, but I will set a time for that, and I am not gonna put that priority over what other things should be priority, you know. Like, I'm gonna have a set time and that's it. I am not gonna be like 100 hours a day on social media like I was. No. And as much as I wish, I just know that other things have to come first, and I'm very thankful for this channel because it is a platform that I've been praying for God to use me to motivate and inspire people with things that, with my life, with experiences that, you know, I go through, with things that God teaches me. So, but I will probably be uploading just like Sunday and Wednesday, and not really doing everyday vlogs. So, but if I do, that just means that I have more time and I did it, and that would be a bonus for you guys to see. And I hope that one day this this will take me to a greater and bigger platform to reach out millions and millions. Just know that if God is first in your life, everything else will puzzle themselves into the picture. So give God a chance and make him first into your life, and everything else will fall in its place, because we can't go far without him. We really can't. I know I can't. And I needed these 7 days detox, 7-day fasting, might I say, so that he does some spiritual maintenance in me, because we all need that. And don't think because you're a human, you're a rock and you can go on, because storms will come and they will knock you out, and you're gonna need God. But go to God every day, not only when you get knocked out, because he's there. His hand is there every day to pick you up and to help you, not just with big struggles, but little ones, tiny things, and, you know, detail things in life. He wants to help you. He wants to be there. So give him a chance. And I hope this video inspires you and motivates you to do the same. And know that when your priorities are set in life, everything else will be set as well. Enough being serious now. But I also will be sharing something from my work. And Sunday I have a cake smash, so can't wait to show you guys the setup and all that good stuff, you know, because I have a little princess coming in to smash that cake. All right, so enjoy your weekend, whatever it's left of. And what time is it? It's 3:21 in the afternoon. Yeah, enjoy your weekend, be thankful. Oh, and another thing, I wrote for each day, I wrote what I was thankful for those 7 days, things that I got done, things that God helped me. I wrote every single day, you know. Bye.
I give you all of me, and you give me all